Welcome back, everyone. If you're new here, welcome to the show. In today's episode, Haley and I have something new for you. We have a 1948 Ford F-Series. Really, it's the Rochobby 1/18th Magnum off-road truck. It's RTR, so it has everything you need in it with the battery and controller. We're really going to get into it and try to answer all the questions that anyone might need to know for body size, what it comes with, what it can do, water stability, anything like that. If I do miss something, make sure to leave a comment and I'll make sure to get back into it in the next video. I really appreciate it. I want to be as helpful as I can. This was a sponsored product from FMS, so if you want to pick yourself up one, you can find the link in the description. I really appreciate all that you guys do to help support the show, and I don't want to waste any more time, so let's get into this. Some of the things you're going to notice right away about this truck is it has an injection molded hard body, which means it just really stands up to rolling over and whatnot. We rolled it quite a few times as it's not the most well-performing off-road vehicle, but it is one of the best looking and scale ones, especially at its size, that we've ever driven, and it was so much fun. But that hard body just really stole the show in a lot of ways and provides just so much scale in this. Has a functional hood that you can pop the hood up and put the battery in. A scale interior. I think you can actually disconnect the interior from the body and get a little driver put in there if you wanted to get one. More on that as we keep exploring on the ride. Has some bumpers put on there, and the bumpers very scale, and they actually don't hold you up too much. They have a little bit of give to them, so it's really cool. It's hard to explain how they worked out. They're kind of like, you know, like I said, it's not going to be the most well-performing, especially out of the box. I mean, I wouldn't see anyone wanting to really upgrade this thing. It kind of is supposed to be a scale rig, but at the same time, like, I don't think the bumpers are making it worse by any mean, really. If you're getting caught on the bumper, you can usually find another route, or kind of, it has a lot of torque, so it'll push itself over eventually if you keep working that gas. Give it some beans, you know. But it has a realistic pinion and rear axle. That's pretty sweet. I mean, there's a lot of things, the way the steering is too, but we'll get into that. That high torque transmission is 104/1 FDL, and the water resistance electronics with a 2.4 gigahertz radio. But it has a high torque oversized 5.5T brushed motor. That's what's in it for the motor. Like, I'm telling you, this thing doesn't get up and move for the size of it or anything. You don't see it like, it's not hauling butt down the road. But the one thing we did notice, anytime it was like trying to go vertically, like if it could get grip, it had plenty of torque to just push it right up the hill or pull something right up the hill. We're gonna load it down with some wood as well, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with this thing. But it has a 7.4 2S LiPo battery providing about 30 minutes of runtime. I've gone into this a bunch of times. Make sure you research LiPo batteries, how to take care of them. If you can storage charge them, that's the best way to make them last much longer and everything. Over a lifetime, they're gonna get, you know, over a year. If you're just sitting there and you're doing a full charge every time you do it, but you never storage charge after you use it today, that 30-minute runtime might dwindle down to a 15 or 20-minute runtime after about a year of doing that. But if you storage charge your battery, you know, in theory, it's supposed to keep them around that 30-minute runtime much longer. And also, you can get more than out of the box than 30 minutes runtime if you're just not having the lights on, or using a lot of throttle or something. If you're kind of just putzing around, you might end up with 40 minutes of putzing around. So it's not 100% mathematical science on that, I guess. You'd have to put a lot into that to know exactly how long it's going to run for, but they say 30-minute runtime, so take that for what it is. It's a chassis mounted servo, and the servo, the way it connects to the steering column, is a scale way, from what I understand. It's not 100% scale, but when you look at it from the front, that's all I'm trying to say, it looks much more scale. It's very cool. Aluminum frame rails and tuned coil shocks. The tuned coil shocks, it's pretty freaking sick. They have the rear end shocks stock are slanted almost at almost completely sideways, and they're stiffened. Like the rear shocks are tuned differently than the front shocks. So when they're actually saying tuned coil shocks, this isn't just like a marketing ploy. They're actually tuned coiled shocks, and the way this truck bounces, the front end bounces different than the rear end, because they want you to load it up with stuff. Like, you can see that it has a big bed and there's plenty of room to put stuff in it. It's really cool. And like I said, we're gonna get more into that, but for today, we're just trying to go over what the thing can do, and, you know, more and more testing as we go, like we've always done on the channel here. But what's in the box that you're gonna find, obviously the rig, the RTR version, the transmitter receiver is already installed, the brushless motor is installed, and a digital servo is already installed. It has the 7.8 battery. You'll find that under the hood. And then the USB charger is in the box with it, with the little wrench socket and pocket manual. Go ahead and get into that manual as fast as you can. It's going to show you something about the controller that I found on the trail was kind of tough to figure out. I didn't read the manual before I took it out of the box and went out with it. I often don't. I just want the first time to just kind of play. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I want the first time to just kind of play with it, and me and Haley just have fun. But when I came back and we went and read over the manual, there is actually an A to B section on your controller, on your transmitter, and on that section, if you put it to B, you'll see that the throttle trim also has LED control. So when you put the transmitter to B and you click your LED control button, it'll change the light functions on the rig, so headlights and blinkers and stuff like that. So just go ahead and, for that sake, read the little bit on the manual there, because it's not very easily read out, but it's pretty easy to figure out once you get the little bit of hint like that. Let's get into some specifics now. The vehicle model size is 328 by 149 by 125 millimeters. It weighs 570 grams without the battery included. The tires, 56 millimeters by 19.2 millimeters. The wheelbase is 196 millimeters. The ground clearance is 38 millimeters. So the lowest point at the ground clearance is probably going to be your center differential hub. From what I'm looking at, it could also be maybe front steering couples, like right behind the tires there, CVC joint area, somewhere around there. But most likely it's you're gonna be your hub. The approach angle of the front end, so what I'm talking about, that front bumper, is 30 degrees, and departure angle is 45. I honestly, like I said, I noticed each bumper at different times, so that 14 degrees difference you actually notice. It makes it really fun. It's really good. I don't know how to explain the whole bumper situation, but usually I take my bumpers off of everything, and on this rig I was like, I'm gonna leave these are awesome. Like, I don't know how to explain it. They're good bumpers. Driving speed is up to 5k kilometers/hour. Kilometers/, I'm not sure, km, I forget what that is. Remote distance is 30 meters, and playtime 30 minutes. We went over that. Take care of your batteries. It's a super scale rig. I really can't get into how awesomely scale it is. Like, they even have the little clock on the dash inside the interior. Like, the interior is not just a random interior, it's actually modeled after the truck it came from. The tires are a little bit different than something you would have seen back in the day, but they're super grippy, and the rim size and everything looks correct. I just can't get over that. The bed, the tailgate drops down. It has rear taillights, headlights. The little mirrors are actually on there pretty good. We didn't break any while rolling off. None of the paint scratched or anything. And the hood pops up so you can put the battery in there, and that's where the ESC is, so you can turn it on. I mean, it's just like, as far as scale rigs go, it's one of the best. All my scale rigs, I need to take a screwdriver to take the body off just to get to the battery, and it's just a whole thing. And I found this was just pleasantly easy. It also has water resistance electronics for any of those out there that want to go out and splash around mud puddles. You're going to be more capable of doing that. Or even if you're just like out rock crawling or trail crawling or something, and you accidentally end up in a little bit of water, you don't have to be too concerned or jump after it right away. I would say, don't drive it through the creek or anything like that. It's probably not submergible, but it is water resistant. So we're going to be doing a bunch of testing with that, especially when it comes winter. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun hauling some wood in this thing. And one of the last features that I thought just was the awesomest thing ever, we've been wanting to get one for a long time, is the throttle trim. That's the throttle trim. Sorry, let me say it again. The throttle trim. It's because it's just one of the best features I've ever had in RC. So basically what it is it's cruise control. So you can throttle trim up or down, that's reverse or forward, and the more you click, the faster the rig will go, and it will just stay going that speed until the battery dies or the function wears out or something, you know what I mean? So it's just, for me, that's a really awesome thing. It really helps for if you're trailing along with a friend or whatnot, and me and Haley are always usually trailing together. So maybe if we end up getting something else around this size and it also has throttle trim, we'll be able to do that, and it'll just be a lot easier, and just, I don't know, it makes for skill trail. It's really fun to have that cruise control. So if that's something you've been interested in as well, just know that it has that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for all the support. FMS, thank you for the opportunity. I hope you all enjoyed. Have good days, have good nights, and happy trucking.